I have one more topic. We can do quick or long. I don't really care. So this year, I make a really big deal about. Do you know what this time of year is?
Winter?
Do you know what happens? I know, but what happens? You're not going to have an answer, but I want to ask you anyway.
Okay.
You know what happens this time every fucking year, and it's annoying, and I hate it, and I love it at the same time? Multi-level marketing people.
Multi-level marketing people.
Do you know about them?
Are we talking about... We're not talking about like pyramid companies.
Yes.
Are we? This is hilarious because I'm literally in the middle of one.
Okay. This is the season where MLMs, they come out of their houses, they poke themselves up on social media.
Like the pyramid scheme stuff.
Yeah. And they're like, Kelin, I haven't seen you forever. We should get lunch one day. And then you're like, oh, I haven't seen this person in forever. And they get about 15 minutes into the lunch. Let me tell you about this thing that I'm working on. And then immediately.
Literally in the middle of this.
You know immediately that the whole thing was a setup to make the pitch that they're allowed to, they're going to hit you with. And you've seen it so many times, but you had no idea. You got blindsided by the pitch. And all of a sudden, you're knee deep in a person that you just go down 5 pegs in how you feel about them because they want you to sell vitamins, buy vitamins, whatever it is. Tell your story. What are you in the middle of?
And I feel bad because it's a very nice woman, and I don't want it to sound like I'm like shit talking her, but somebody saw on Facebook that I had posted about trying to be more mindful about health and wellness, working out more, doing whatever. So I get a message from this person I haven't seen or talked to in God knows how long. Very nice person who I know is a stay-at-home mom and makes a living, I think, selling some things online, which is fine. It's products she likes, she loves them, and she does it, so she can get a discount, whatever. Well, then reaches out and says, hey, I see you're on this journey of being healthy. We have these products, and they're non-toxic, and they're green, and they're this and that, and would you be interested? I was like, sure, go ahead and send me the information. Soon as I pull up the website, I see the name. I'm not going to say the name of the company. Immediately, I knew it. I knew it. It's one of those, buy these products, and then why don't you start selling these products and then doing that? And I just went, okay, well, thanks. Can we drop it? And I didn't say that. I just said thank you. And then it was like, oh, so did you get a chance to look at it? No, not yet. I'll get to it. Oh, well, let me suggest what I have. And what are you looking to swap out? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'll look at it at some point. And, oh, yeah, well, let me know when you get a chance to look at this. And I'm just like, I have no backbone. I can't say, I think this is a pyramid scheme and I'm 100% not interested because I know that she really does like the products. Maybe they work. I don't know. And if I decide to go and order something, fine. But I'm not going to sit here and be put on this timeline of let's discuss this and let's do this. And it's just like, oh, God, just leave me alone. And it's so funny you said that always happens this time of year because literally I'm in this right now.
And for our viewers, I did not know this going into this conversation. I did not. But there are thousands of people right now in the same boat that you are.
Yeah.
Where someone who was in your circle, you didn't have to put barriers against solicitation, busted through that, and under the guise of something else, made a sales pitch at you. And even though it's something that, all right, so let's go back a little bit. I love the entrepreneur spirit. I do. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there are a bunch of people who know that they could do stuff. They can make some extra side money and do a little business. And somebody comes with this offer that all you have to do is this. You already know people, don't you? That's all you need, network marketing, in order to know people and have a product that sells itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, they always say that too. You know people, just talk to your people. Just put it on Facebook.
And I'm telling you, I've gone through some of the training for some of these MLMs. Like from the time I was 17 years old, Primerica was the first one that came to me. Second one was, it was a satellite TV company. I forget. I don't even think they exist anymore. That was second one. Third one was Carlton Sheets and real estate. Fourth one was some kind of air purifier. And then
Was it the rainbow with the water?
the purifier? No,
Yeah.
this was ancient.
Oh.
This was a little box that had these little glass inserts that you made and created ozone, and they killed bacteria in the air. Like, I can even hear the sales pitch right now. It sounded amazing. And then ever since then, like, those are the 4 that I actually looked into to see if they were worthwhile, which none of them actually were. But I went through all the trainings and I looked to see how they worked, and I just didn't ever sell anything within them.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, it's been 2 or 3 a year that will get at me. I had this 18-year-old kid. He was in college. And he was like, Joe, I have a business idea and I want to talk to you. And that's my green card, my green flag. If somebody wants to start a business, I want to help them get started. And when he walked in, I just fucking knew that this was going to be an multi-level MLM pitch. And I was like, please don't let it be this. Please don't let it be this. And he was like, I want to tell you, I am on track to getting a Lamborghini.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm like, fuck. Like, I am done. This kid is going to sell me on something. And I let him go through his pitch. And I was like, dude, I want to warn you, the path that you're on right now, I want you to take a spreadsheet and the stuff that you have had to purchase versus the stuff that has been purchased through you, I want you to add that up. And if the second number is lower than the first number, I want you fucking gone right now, out of it, because they are benefiting from your involvement way more than you are being benefited from your involvement. And you can't put all the Rolex watches and vacations and Lamborghinis in front of you that would make what you're dealing with worth it. They are going to show you that other people are getting this stuff, but you will never get that. And I hate to be the bearer of negative news, but you're being worked over and you're being manipulated into selling a very terrible product. And even if it is a good product, it's still a terrible product, because that is not within the comfort zone of how people like to buy things. They do not like to be ambushed and forced into buying something, manipulated by the relationships that they have. That is the first red flag. If you have to ask your mother-in-law to buy vitamins, she will. And in fact, when I sold Christmas cards as a 12-year-old, everybody in my neighborhood bought these shitty-ass Christmas cards that were overpriced. They did it not because they were great Christmas cards, because it was me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I got like probably a tongue suppressor, a plushie, and one of those paddle balls, right, for all of my effort. They got me more than I got them. And that is and again, the premises of business are all great, but they are filling in the best parts of being in business with terrible exchanges in value. And that's what you have to see. As a 12-year-old, I didn't care. Do you remember the Carlton Sheets things, by the way? You remember him?
Carlton Sheets?
Carlton Sheets.
What is that? Carlton Sheets.
And there was probably another dude at the same era. This was thick in the middle of the 90s. Okay? Saturday mornings, I think it was either before cartoons or after cartoons. So I'm probably a 14-year-old kid. And this guy comes on TV and he's doing the MLM pitch. You buy these materials from me and we will help you buy real estate. And I'm like, oh, buying real estate. Doing it with no money. I have no money. This sounds fucking great, right?
Yeah.
Here's what you do. Use other people's money to buy real estate. I'm like, oh, sold! I have no money to buy real estate. How do I do this? This sounds fucking amazing. So I got on the phone, right? And I did because I bought this $400 Carlton Sheets, how to buy real estate with no money whatsoever. And I was like, I read all the books and I'm knee deep into it, 14-year-old me. And I'm like, I can't legally buy anything, right? I used my $400 credit card that I had access to buy this shit.
I was going to say, where'd you get the $400 from?
That's another story about my corrupt life as a child.
Oh, God.
So I learned a ton of shit about how real estate worked, right? How it's bought, how it's sold, how it's brokered, how the financing worked. All of this stuff. And I'm like, I'm getting this great education from this thing. Now all I have to do is call up a realtor, right? So I went through the yellow pages because that was the thing at the time. Pick the realtor. And I had the book in front of me of what to say when I'm on the phone with a realtor. And, hey, I'm looking for properties that have been on the market for 180 days. Distressed properties, ones that are really having a tough time selling. And I was like, uh-huh. And I said, here's what I'd like to do. I would like the seller to finance the sale. I will go out and find a buyer. You get the financer to send the property to me. They issue a note to me that they are loaning me the money to sell it. I'm going to sell it. And when I sell the house, I'm going to take what I sold it for and pay back the original note. And I didn't have to have any money. I just keep the difference between what they wanted and what I was able to sell for. And I just get to keep the difference. I get to keep what was, between those two values. I thought, this is amazing. And she said, did you watch the Carlton Sheets thing on TV? And I'm like, fuck. Fuck. Because all it did was make a bunch of people with no money try to fish the market of pulling distressed properties that, what did I think? A distressed property that's been sitting on the market forever that somehow was going to go out into the marketplace and use my 14-year-old charisma, sell this when everybody else has struggled with it, right?
That was my thing is I'm like, a realtor can't sell it, but you're going to sell it.
14-year-old Joe, like, I'm just taken aback by the $50,000 that I was going to pocket if I was able to pull that off, and I was totally willing to spend the time to do it. But the realtor was nice to me, mean but nice, and said, you watch too much TV, there's an actual science to this, and I would have you talk to an actual real estate person and get involved in that direction rather than try to sneak and hack your way into this industry. And I was like, fuck. All that time and the $400 books that I read, and I know a lot about real estate at this point, but now I took myself less seriously because of wise words from someone in the industry who was giving me all the wisdom that I needed that said this was a fucking bad idea. Carlton Sheets.
So why would someone... and there may be a perfectly good reason for this, I don't know. But if you've got a company and you're like, I make products that are good for the environment, there's no toxins, they're safe for people and pets, they work really well, and everybody stays healthy. Why would they choose to go towards the MLM route rather than sell them in retail stores?
There's a couple different salespeople, and if you take a certain segment, like you can almost picture someone that you've known throughout your life that would be a great MLM salesperson. They're not brilliant, but they're smart enough to be able to word things. They're manipulative. They don't really have the integrity to be able to like be all the way forthcoming. Like I can picture 3 people in my head right now that would make great MLM salespeople. And it's an industry that basically takes everybody knows people, everybody has relationships, and convinces you to hijack the people that they can't get to through traditional marketing, right? I can go to my neighbor, and regular marketing struggles to get to my neighbor. But if they can give me some kind of like future reward for hijacking the relationship with my neighbor to sell a stupid, crappy Christmas card, it's extremely effective. It just, when you look back and say, I took my position in my relationship and I risked it all to sell a crappy Christmas card, that you feel guilty that you did that, because that's not how we consume things. We're not like, I really need some vitamins right now. Let me see who in my social circle sells these things. You just don't do that because that's what you're going to get. Somebody who's not selling the best or the one that's reviewed the highest or comes with the most 5 stars behind their name. Yeah. You're going to reward somebody you know, and it might not be the best product that you're after. You wouldn't buy a car that way. You wouldn't buy a house that way.
And that's kind of my thing is like, would I love to use products that are cleaner? And sure. But why is your stuff not... Like, why do I just go through you and buy a subscription of this stuff that comes from it's not sold in a store? Why? Is it still good or is it crap?
But it sells itself. Like, you're just not looking at the true nature of the product that I sell. It's so good that the Target won't even put it on its shelf, right? Because then all the other vitamins that were on the shelf wouldn't sell, because all people would do is come into Target and buy this, and then they don't want to make the other vendors unhappy. It's not on the shelf for a good reason.
And we're trying to give people jobs. We're trying to help the stay-at-home mom that doesn't have time to go to a 9-to-5 job, or someone who just needs a little side hustle to make some extra cash. We're a good company trying to help people supplement their income, and that's why we haven't gone
And
to
there
the
have
store.
been MLM companies that have survived multiple decades that
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay is one of them, for
Yeah.
sure. And
Mary Kay, Avon, still around, doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've encountered so many horrible MLM salespeople that now, like this poor girl, like I said, she probably really does love the product. She probably really does think they're great. Maybe they are. I don't know. But before she ever reached out to me, the moment I saw the name of what it was, I went, no, because I knew a woman years ago that was just like awful and up my ass nonstop trying to push products and was just relentless and just ridiculous about it. Now that is associated with this product.
yeah.
So it's almost like you could actually hurt your business by going that route. If you pick someone that is really going to put a bad taste in anyone's mouth about your product because of their sales tactics. No, I don't even want to do it.
So if you're shopping for vitamins and this person thinks you're going to be made more healthy by the types of vitamins they sell, if you can buy them directly from the website and not put anybody's code in there for who you purchase for, and they're just as eager to still sell you the vitamins because they know you're going to be healthy, but they're not going to get credit for the sale, then you can get a sense for what the reason was. Was I looking out for you? Was it just about the product? Or is the sale really important for what I've got going on? And would I be willing to sacrifice our relationship to get that sale?
Yeah. Because why wouldn't this have just ended with, like I've talked to someone that, posted, oh, I'm looking for a easy workout to do from home. I can't get to the gym. That's what I do. I have no affiliation. It's not something we're selling. It's just something I do with somebody I know. Hey, I know this girl. I work out with her and it's online. Reach out and get involved. End of discussion. So when she says, hey, I see you're trying to be healthier. And by the way, here's a company. I really like them. Here's their website. Go order something. The fact that wasn't the end of the discussion and I'm still getting a message is like, red flag.
For sure.
Red flag. Yeah. Oh, God. I didn't know that was a February or beginning of the year thing.
The same time, I'm expecting my phone to ring and the solicitations to happen.
Is it just like when they're setting up their quotas for the year? Is that why it's...
Well, I think what happens is people get into the new year and they set their New Year's resolutions. They look at their budget. They need to make some extra money. So they go online and start typing in things that they can do to make extra money. And the top things come out are the marketing pitches for MLM. They buy into one of them. They take all of the stuff. They get set up as a vendor. They buy all of their product. And now by this point in the year, they're ready to start seeing if everything they've been doing is worthwhile. So this is the time they start selling. That makes most sense. But if you were to take, and I will tell you, I've done MLM segments on my radio show. This is the worst. People gang tackle me when we talk about this, more so than the pharmaceutical people, the people who think that you're taking a stab at their drugs, or the minimum wage talks where you have a group of people who just think it is evil for me to talk about this industry the way that I do. Okay. So let's just say there are people out there that now they were considering buying from your friend because it's the right thing to do. You don't do it. And then she loses her job at doing this, right? Do you think that you've made the economy better by taking ways that we really don't prefer as consumers out of the industry and wiped out MLM that is not done well? If it means that, I'm going to call her Mary because of Mary Kay, but Mary now loses her job as the vitamin slinger, because that would definitely be in conjunction with what we talked about earlier. It's the repercussions of prohibiting it into the marketplace and entertaining it and giving it legs that she loses her job. Not that we all one day said, we don't really like this. This is a dirty way of practicing business and let's have an end to it. Repercussions are Mary loses her job.
Yeah. God, I keep thinking now too, because I wonder if this is by design or it just worked
I'll
out
tell you,
for
I
them.
went through all the training, so I'll tell you if it's part of the scheme.
So I know someone that has sold Mary Kay for years. And she really is that pink Cadillac driving, very good money, has binders and binders of clients, and she runs that like a business. Tracks who she hasn't talked to in a while, sends invoices, like that woman is organized and running that. But that's not the norm, I would bet.
100%.
So is that someone who is just like, I am going to do anything I can to be successful at this, and so they are? Or is there somehow a design that you see some people really are looking very successful in order to get others to follow?
Well, no, it has all the underpinnings of business. So if it's structured legitimately, it ends up working out and it becomes a Mary Kay. If I'm like running I can get a bunch of 17-year-old kids to hawk energy drinks with maybe someday getting a Lamborghini. Well, that works in the short term, but in the end, the company made all the money. The people hawking it never really got their Lamborghini, and you get the fallout. If you don't reward the people with the thing you entice them with, then it crumbles, right? And that's what happens with most of them, because the schemers and the business side of things said, we're giving you the product, we're giving you the marketing, we're giving you the literature. You're only doing 10% of the work, so I'm only going to make sure that 10% of the value gets down to the people who make the business work, right? And so it crumbles. Now, if I'm Mary Kay and saying, hey, there's huge markup on makeup, and we'll give the structure and whatever, but we're going to give people actual Cadillacs, and we're giving them 50% of the margin, and when they run it and look at their books, it looks like any other business, that has lasting power because that person doesn't buy out. They did the thing they were asked to do. They put the money in the bank that they were promised that would be put in the bank. They'll repeat the cycle forever because it's just a business that happens to be supported. What's different from a franchise, right? You buy a Chick-fil-A, they're doing the same shit with you. They're charging you a fee. They're giving you the materials. They're giving you the product. All you have to do is run it, and then you get to put money in the bank. You'll do that again the next month. It's no different, but it's how it's structured. You can tell. Like, go ahead and here's what I want you to do. I want to give you a little bit of backbone. And when you get hit with the MLM people, ask them about the business. If you sold me this thing of vitamins right now, what do you get? And I want you to think about if it were reversed, would you do that? Oh, so if you're given 50% of margin on anything that you sell, right, then it's just I'm buying from a wholesaler that is the parent company, marking it up and selling it to you. That's a real business. But if there's some weird shit in there, yeah, I make 1%, but if you also sell, then I get 5% of whatever you get. Then you're like, very unlikely that you're going to convince me to take the vitamins and then sell these vitamins to other people. That's a dead transaction. How many people can you recruit to do what I did to you? Very limited.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime it comes with, oh, and by the way, why don't you start selling? I'm like, I'm out. I don't want this anymore.
Just remember the math. Okay, so take the catalog that they gave you. Take the items that you were really willing to buy because they seem halfway decent. Add up what your order total is. Find out what their percentage of sale they would have done. And so let's just say you were willing to buy $50 worth of vitamins. And they say they get 5% of that sale, right? Mm-hmm. So that engagement, buying from you, they got $2.50. So when you ask them, would you book another meeting like we're having right now that we spend an hour talking about these vitamins in exchange for $2.50, right? And if they say, oh yeah, I'd do this all day for $2.50, then they're a lifer. They're going to be in this program forever. They're going to be your next Mary Kay. But if they're like, well, no, I'm hopeful that you'll sell too. So on your sales, I'll get 5%, which would be more, or 10%, which would be more than what I would have made on this one. Then it's like, yeah, that part's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Right. And so if you're not willing to do the $2.50 version, you're going to be in this for about 6 months. It's going to be a hobby. You're going to squander your relationships to make sales. And this is a very short shelf life for you.
Yeah. It's almost like the easier something seems, the more
for
of a
sure.
scam it is.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
Caloriferous, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You get
Good.
first strike.